Good morning, guys. Good morning again. This is Trev from Trevessence, and today we are going to be continuing on our quest of reading the Bible. I want to say a very special welcome to you all. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for liking, for subscribing. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. Even if you come and you don't say a word, which I would love if you say something, so at least I can acknowledge you. But if you choose not to, that's on you. When I say you are missing out, hey, Ricky, Ricky, come early for the morning blessings. Eh, Ricky, Ricky, how are you doing? Happy Friday to you, my love. Oh, Kat is in the place as well. God bless up your nice, clean self, sis. How is everybody doing this Friday morning? I kind of feel excited. Say a Friday, and Fridays in Miami is a busy day. But me can't get to run road, cause if me a run road a three tail me have with me, no Ricky. OMG. But I'm gonna see how I can match it up for today. See how I can match it up because you got to do what you got to do. And the temperature out there is temperaturing. Believe me, I tell you. When you step outside, it come like you're bake. And then there is this additional heat that is coming up off the concrete. Like, wow. So guys, you all out there, stay safe. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. And watch how much you do. Don't overexert yourself out there in that heat because you might feel like everything is okay and then boom. All right. So welcome again, everybody. Thank you all for coming into the morning reading. As I tell you, Ricky, I tell you, my gosh, the heat is terrible, man. It is terrible. And even when you are under the shade, the heat is still doing its thing. So we just gotta be extremely careful and take care of ourselves. Stay hydrated, drink a lot of cool water. And please, for those of you who have kids or are traveling with kids, do not leave them in the car, not even for a second. Do not leave them in the car. If you have a child that is on the back seat, you don't usually carry that child, put a bag, put something that you're going to have to retrieve from the car when you stop. Because too many people are sometimes I wonder if people are really forgetting the children, or people are doing this deliberately so that to have us believe that it was an accident. I don't know, but too many people are forgetting their children in the back seat. Babysitters forgetting children they're babysitting. Grandmothers forgetting grandbabies. Parents forgetting their children. What in the world is going on? And in this heat, the first thing you should do is look back on the car. Are we so distracted that we're even forgetting about our children? Come on, gentle people. Fix up on yourself and act right. All right? All right. With that being said, let us get on with the scriptures for today. Guys, don't forget to get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one is closer to you, and follow along with me as I read and make your notes so that we can have these notes for future reference. Right, Tisha? Let me see what is being said in the chat here. Tisha, bless up yourself. Okay, you see what I mean, Ricky? I keep asking myself, like, how do you forget the child in the car? When you should think that you went out with the child, you're supposed to have the child with you. You know, sometimes I try to be sympathetic, like if somebody goes out with, say the dad never usually takes the child with them, and then this one exceptional morning, they have to. I can understand them driving, being distracted, thinking about work, thinking about all kinds of things, and being distracted and just drive on to work and not look in the back seat. That can I can understand for a measure of it. I can understand, you know. But I mean, a babysitter. If a babysitter knows that she's babysitting a child and she goes to pick up the child to babysit the child at her house, how do you end up getting out of the vehicle and going into your house without this child you went to pick up to babysit? I don't get it, you know? And it's just sad that so many children are losing their lives because of the negligence of adults. It's sad. It is sad. And I think they're going to start having much harsher punishments for people who end up in these kinds of situations. If it means that you have to tie a string on the baby, tie a string on the baby and tie that string to your arm. So when you get ready to get out of the car, you will be tugged. So you remember that the baby is in the car. My. Boy. Anywho, today, guys, we are going to be reading from the book of Nehemiah. Now, for those of you who have been with me as we have gone on this journey for the last year and a half, we had read the book of Nehemiah before, because remember when we read the book on this foundation, we had read how Nehemiah was sent from Persia by King Artaxerxes over to Jerusalem to go rebuild the city. And we read about him having met with the rulers who were around and how they had been plotting to assassinate him, and how they had sent men out of their clan to go infiltrate Nehemiah's clan, pretending as though they were with him. And the traitor, I think the traitor was Johannahan. Don't quote me on that. If my memory serves me right, I think the traitor was Johannahan, who had infiltrated Nehemiah's camp and had been appointed to be one of his closest aides. And so he was privy to a lot of information that he was, that all the information that he was privy to, he was serving up that information to his father-in-law, who was a stark enemy of Nehemiah. We are going to continue the reading. We are going to read the book of Nehemiah, and I'm sure that will give us a little bit of a refresher as to what we had read before and what we had read in the book on this foundation. All right. So come along with me, guys. Come along with me. And before we do, let's make this disclaimer. Remember, we do not endorse any particular religion or any particular denomination. Sometimes people say, why don't you pray before you read the Bible? Listen. You pray. You pray. All right. Because if I pray, I am praying to the God that I know, that I was cultured to praying to. Remember, we are not endorsing any particular religion or denomination. So that would be going against what I said I wouldn't. But if you want to pray, you put your prayer right there in the comments so everybody can read it. But I have people who are listening to me who are of other religions, pray to other people, and since I'm not a preacher, I am not calling anybody into any fold. I cannot serve you up the soup of any fold, because that's not what we're doing right here. All right? So whisper a prayer. You can whisper a prayer like I whisper mine. All right, gentle people. So let us move on. That explains that, because somebody asked me, like, why you don't pray before you read the Bible? I'm like, I mean, that's why. Anywho, we are going to continue with the reading. We are on to the book of Nehemiah. All right, we're going to be reading Nehemiah's chapters 1 through 3. All right, let us begin. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's begin. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, and it came to pass in the month Shisleu. Oh, there's a month called Shisleu. Which month of the year is that, Cad? Which month of the year was that? The month of, hold on, there was no phone. The month of Shisleu. That is Chisleu. Hold on, I need to know what month of the year that is in the Jewish calendar. Shisleu month. Okay, but the Jewish calendar, it's in November and December. The third month of the civil year, the 9th month of the ecclesiastical year. Okay. Let us continue. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, and it came to pass in the month of Shisleu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace, that Anani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. And I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. Now this is Nehemiah writing his account of what happened during that time. Okay? Now remember, we spoke about this before, that almost all these great men who were priests, those who were scribes, those who were kings, they wrote their account of what occurred during their lifetime. People who lived in the same period of time have written their own account, and we find that some of the accounts are different. They are similar, but have some little bit of differences in them. And that is normal, because if I were to write something right now about this time that I am living in, and you were to write something about this time that you are living in, it will be the same period, but different experiences and different ways of expressing it. And unless we have a universal truth concerning a particular event, I could write one thing based on my biases, and you could write something totally different based on your biases. And that's how we have seen it happen in the Bible. Ezra's writing on his time. Nathan is writing on his time. Everybody is writing their own, giving their own account of what happened during those times. So here Nehemiah is talking about him having had these people come to him, and he had inquired about Jerusalem, like, what's happening down there? What's going on? Remember, guys, at this time, Nehemiah is in Persia. All right. Let us continue. That Anani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned for certain days, and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. AG, bless up yourself. AG, you come. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, my love? Verse 5. and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. Verse 7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If he transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if he turn unto me, and keep my commandments, and do them, though they were of you, cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. So for those of you who are just coming, remember Nehemiah. Nehemiah was one of those people who was in Persia. He was the cupbearer for King Artaxerxes at this time. And his brother Anani and his other brethren had gone over to Persia to talk with the king. And by them having gone to Persia to talk to the king regarding Jerusalem, Nehemiah, who was at that time a cupbearer for King Artaxerxes, had inquired of them, what's going on over there in Jerusalem? What's happening to the people who had escaped, those who had been taken into captivity? What is going on? And they had told him that the walls of the city were broken, the house of the Lord was burnt down, the children of Israel were taken into captivity. It was just a horrid mess over there. And Nehemiah's heart, his heart, which was in Jerusalem, but his body was in Persia, his heart was just saddened for his country. And he was talking to the Lord and saying, God, look, oh Lord, God of Israel, our God, we have not been following your commandments. We have not been doing what our foreparents were doing, or what they had taught us, or were supposed to have taught us, to follow the laws of Moses. And look at the destruction that has befallen my country. So here we see Nehemiah sort of pleading the case of the Jews to their God in prayer. All right, we are going to continue. We are going to be reading chapter 2, but let me check in on the chat and see who is there. Welcome into the live, guys. Good morning. Don't forget to hit the like button and share out the live, guys. Invite your friends and your friends and your friends to come on over into the live. All right, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are just coming, if you are new here, I want to say a very, very special welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming. If you are a returning traveler, I want to say thank you for your continued support. Now we are going to be moving right along. Wow. Who is this? Who sent me this? All right, let us continue. All right, chapter 2 of the book of Nehemiah. And it came to pass in the month Nisan, now that is another month of the year per the Jewish calendar. In the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Now, for those of you who don't understand, right there, Nehemiah had been the king's cupbearer for a while, and he was always cheerful. He was always of good countenance. But this time, after he had spoken to his brethren, and they had told him the state of Jerusalem, he was so sad that when he took up the cup to Artaxerxes, Artaxerxes noted that he was sad. His countenance had changed. He had not ever been that sad looking. And so Artaxerxes inquires of him, "What's wrong? Something has to be wrong. Why are you sad?" Now, verse 2, "Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid, and said unto the king, Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?" Then the king said unto me, "For what dost thou make request?" So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, "If it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thine eyes, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it." So here Nehemiah is saying to the king is asking him, why is he so sad? And he has to tell the king, "I am sad of heart. My heart is broken for my people, for my city of Jerusalem, the city where my forefathers are buried. I am sad. But if I find favor, if you have seen it fit in your heart, send me to Jerusalem so I can rebuild that city." And this is what Nehemiah is begging of Artaxerxes. Verse 6, "And the king said unto me," now this is Nehemiah speaking. Nehemiah is the author of this book where we're reading right now. "And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, For how long shall thy journey be? And when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, If it please the king, let letters be given to me, to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah." Now he had to have the king's approval, not by word of mouth, but he had to have it by letter, because the kings of the other cities around, the rulers of the other cities around, are going to question his actions. They're going to question his authority. They're going to question who gave him permission to be coming over there trying to rebuild Jerusalem, because you see, everybody around wants to make sure that Jerusalem remains broken and destroyed. They do not want it to be rebuilt. So for Artaxerxes to be sending Nehemiah back to rebuild the city, he has to either have the approval of the others, or demand that they acknowledge the fact that he has given the last word about it, and so they will not be able to do anything about it. Verse 8. All right, it says the month of Nisan is April. Okay, because the month of Shizlu was November, December, and so I figured that it had to be after that. So April it is for the month of Nisan per the Jewish calendar. Kad said so in the chat. Okay, let us move on to verse 8. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forests, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertained to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my God upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river, and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So this Sanballat and this Tobiah here, they were stark enemies of Jerusalem, and they wanted to ensure that Jerusalem was not rebuilt, because you see, they don't want the power of Jerusalem to be in competition with them. They wanted their power to stand, and they know that whenever Jerusalem is established, they are very powerful. The children of Israel are very, very powerful, and so the ones around them are fearful. So they want to subdue them, keep them subdued, keep burning their city down, keep on taking them into captivity, keep on taking them into slavery, dismantle them, chase them away, burn the city down. That's how you subdue them and get rid of the competition that exists with their presence. Hey, love bug. Mommy. You want your mommy? Okay, let us continue. Let's read verse 10 again. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So I came to Jerusalem and was there for 3 days. And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went unto the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. So the donkey couldn't walk there because of all the stones. The walls were broken down, so there was a lot of heaps of stones, and the donkey couldn't pass, because remember, he was riding on a donkey. Then went I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. So he wasn't telling anybody what he was doing. He just, in the middle of the night, he went to survey Jerusalem and see what was going on. There are all the the wall were broken, the piles of stones, everything was burnt down. He went to survey the damage himself without telling anybody what he was doing or where he was going. Verse 17. God says, do you notice that they are not even from the same tribe? They just have one concern in common. Exactly. Exactly. They are not from the same tribe. Question though, as you say that, the Ammonite, is the Ammonite and the Moabites descendants from Lot and his daughter? Talk to me. Because my mind is telling me that, because remember, those of you remember Lot's two daughters had a son each for him, and one of them was Moab. And so the Moabites are descendants of that son that was born to Lot's daughter by Lot. And then the Ammonites, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Ammonites are descendants of the other son who was born to Lot by his other daughter. If I remember correctly, I would have to look it up. So that because I don't want to. I know some of you, when I say something, you are not gonna go look it up yourselves. But if I remember correctly, give me a second. Let me look it up to make sure my memory is serving me right. Hold on a second, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to find it here. I trust my memory sometimes, but I'm human. So sometimes all right, this says, according to the biblical account, Moab and Ammon were born of Lot and Lot's elder and younger daughters. Okay, respectively. Okay, so my memory did serve me right. In the aftermath of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Yeah, I'm right. So Moab was the one from the first daughter, and Ammon from the second daughter born to Lot. So the Moabites and the Ammonites, those were the ones who the Lord had said the children of Israel shouldn't associate with. All right. So here was this Tobiah. Tobiah was a descendant. Tobiah was a descendant of Ammon, who was the son born to Lot's second daughter and Lot. All right. So that is cleared up. And as God said, they were not of the same tribe. Tobiah and Sanballat were not of the same tribe, but they had one common goal, and that is so true. They did not want Jerusalem to be rebuilt. They didn't want that competition at all, even though they were ruling different areas in the region. Let us continue. Verse 11. So I came to Jerusalem and was there for 3 days. And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went up to the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then went I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. Come, and let us build up the walls of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. And when Sanballat the Horonite, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, we know what's going to happen, right? They laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, What is this thing that he do? Will he rebel against the king? Then I answered to them and said unto them, The God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore, we, his servants, will arise and build. But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. Okay, so you see, they're already laughing at Nehemiah like, what in the world you think you're going to do? Ain't nobody have rebuilt this city and been able to maintain it. Everybody who come here try to rebuild it. We tear it down, we drive them off, we execute them, we do whatever it is to keep this city in ruins, because we don't want this kind of competition. We don't want this kind of power around here. Okay? Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 3. And this is the last chapter for today's reading, my friends. Then Eliashib, the high priest, rose up with his brethren, the priests, and they built the sheep gate. They sanctified it and set up the doors of it. Even unto the tower of Maya, they sanctified it unto the tower of Ananiel. Oh, yes, yes. There was an Arabian too. Geshem. Geshem was an Arabian. Yeah, Geshem was an Arabian. You remember when we were reading about which one was that? That the Arabians had come up against as well. Yeah, the Arabians were in the war too against Jerusalem. I think it was Ahaz that the Arabians had come up against as well. So the Arabians have been in the fight against Jerusalem. They had been in the fight for a long time. Hold on. I think it was mentioned before. I'm not recollecting it right now, but they were mentioned before in one of the previous chapters as being among the Assyrians who had come up to try to defeat Israel at some point. I'll look it up and reference it as we continue. But I remember that quite clearly. Oh yes, the Arabians were in it as well. And Geshem was the Arabian that was a ruler around at that time as well. Verse 2, And next unto him built the men of Jericho, and next to them built Zakkur, the son of Imri. But the fish gate did the sons of Asenah built, who also laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, and the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. And next unto them repaired Merimoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, Koz. And next unto them repaired Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshelabeel. And next unto them repaired Zadok, the son of Banah. And next unto them the Tekoites repaired, but their nobles put not their necks to the work of their Lord. Moreover, the old gate repaired Jehoiada, the son of Paseah, and Meshullam, the son of Besodeiah. They laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, and the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. And next unto them repaired Melatiah the Gibeonite, and Jadon the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and of Mizpah, unto the throne of the governor on this side of the river. Next unto him repaired Uzziel, the son of Arhaniah, of the goldsmiths. Next unto him also repaired Ananiah, the son of one of the apothecaries, and they fortified Jerusalem unto the broad wall. And next unto them repaired Rephaiah, the son of the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem. And next unto them, this is verse 10 now. And next unto them repaired Jehoiada, the son of Harumath, even over against his house. Let's read that again. And next unto them repaired Jadaiah, the son of Harumath, even over against his house. And next unto him repaired Atush, the son of Ashabniah. Now you see, all the men everybody is appointed the area near to their house where they are supposed to be rebuilding. So wherever you are living, wherever you are going to live, you are responsible for that part of the wall to be rebuilt. Because remember, they are encircling the city. They are building a wall around the city to show their clear lines of demarcation. Say, this is where Jerusalem begins, this is where it ends. And so everybody who is on this task is ordered to repair the area that is close to their house. All right, let us continue. Verse 11. Now Malchijah, the son of Harim, and Ashub, the son of Pahath Moab, repaired the other piece, and the tower of the furnaces. And next unto him repaired Shallum, the son of Halohesh, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem, he and his daughters. Kad, that is Shallum, that is Shana's father. That is Chana's father. Remember, he was the ruler of a half part of Jerusalem. That's the same Shallum that we read about in the book On This Foundation. I really like that book. Let's read that again. Verse 12. And next unto him repaired Shallum, the son of Halohesh, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem, he and his daughters. Now remember the daughters, for those of you who are just coming, who were not here months ago when we read the book On This Foundation. Now that book was a novel pertaining to Nehemiah and... Good morning, love bug. How are you? No, you're not talking to me? Guys who don't know what that mean, they're starting to arise from their slumber. And and remember that Shalom was building his part of the wall, and his three daughters insisted that they help him to build the wall. Let's continue. It says, and next unto him repaired Shalom, the son of Haloesh, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem, he and his daughters. Remember, the scorpion had bitten Shalom, remember? Let us continue reading. The valley gate repaired Hanun, and the inhabitants of Hanoah. They built it, and set up the doors thereof, and locks thereof, and the bars thereof, and 1,000 cubits on the wall unto the dung gate. But the dung gate repaired Malchiah, the son of Rechab, the ruler of part of Beth Hakerem. Remember Malchijah? Malchijah was the ruler of Beth Hakerem in the novel, and he ended up marrying to Chana, who was Shalom's daughter. Wow. He built it, and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. But the gate of the fountain repaired Shalom, the son. This is Shalun. Shalun, the son of Kolhohez, the ruler of part of Mizpah. He built it, and covered it, and set up the doors thereof, and locks thereof, and the bars thereof, and the wall of the pool of Shiloh by the king's garden, and unto the stairs that go down from the city of David. Malchijah ben Rehab. Exactly. Malchijah ben Rechab. His father was Rechab. Let us continue. Verse 16. After him repaired Nehemiah, the son of Hasbuk. Repaired Nehemiah, the son of Hasbuk, the ruler of the half part of Beth Zur, unto the place over against the sepulchres of David, and to the pool that was made, and unto the house of the mighty. After him repaired the Levites, Rehum, the son of Bani. Next unto him repaired Hashabiah, the ruler of the half part of Keilah, in his part. After him repaired their brethren Bavai, the son of Enadad, the ruler of the half part of Keilah. And next to him repaired Ezra, the son of Jeshua, the ruler of Mizpah, another piece over against the going up of the armory at the turning of the wall. After him Baruch, the son of Zabbai, earnestly repaired the other piece, from the turning of the wall unto the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest. After him repaired Merimoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, another piece, from the door of the house of Eliashib, even to the end of the house of Eliashib. And after him repaired the priests, the men of the plain. After him repaired Benjamin and Ashub over against their house. After him repaired Azariah, the son of Maaseiah, the son of Ananiah, by his house. After him repaired Beniwai, the son of Enadad, another piece, from the house of Azariah unto the turning of the wall, even unto the corner. Palal, the son of Uzai, over against the turning of the wall, and the tower which lieth out from the king's high house, that was by the court of the prison. After him Pedaiah, the son of Parosh. Moreover, the Nethinims dwelt in Ophel, unto the place over against the water gate towards the east, and the tower that lieth out. After them the Tekoites repaired another piece over against the gate, the great tower that lieth out, even unto the wall of Ophel. From above the horse gate repaired the priests, every one over against his house. After them repaired Zadok, the son of Immer, over against his house. After him repaired also Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate. After him repaired Ananiah, the son of Shelemiah, and Anun, the sixth son of Zalaph, another piece. After him repaired Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, over against his chamber. So here they're just telling us who repaired what part of the wall, who was next to who, and who was after who in the repairing of the wall. Because remember, each person had to repair the part that was closest to their house. Verse 31 says, after him repaired Malchiah, the goldsmith's son, unto the place of the Nethinims and of the merchants, over against the gate Mifkad, and to the going up of the corner. Verse 32, and this is the last verse of chapter 3. And between the going up of the corner unto the sheep gate, repair the goldsmiths and the merchants. Now, this is the end of the reading of the book of Nehemiah for this morning. We have read Nehemiah's chapters 1, 2, and 3. For those of you who were not here from the beginning, you might want to go back and listen to it from the beginning, because here Nehemiah is rebuilding the city of Jerusalem. Nehemiah, who was one of those exiled, when your city is broken, when your city is destroyed, it's like living in a modern town where there is war and you want to escape that war and you run away to America. Say you're from Jamaica and you run away to America and you come here and you work yourself up into a position of closeness to authority. But your heart's desire is to go back to Jamaica and rebuild your community. So you start a campaign to get support, to get help. And if you're close to politicians, you try to use that closeness to help you to garnish some additional assistance, some more powerful assistance to go back and care for your community. Well, so is the same with Nehemiah. Because he was a cupbearer for King Artaxerxes over in Persia, he was at an advantage because the king already knew him and had favor with him. And so when he asked the king for his blessing to go back and rebuild Jerusalem, the king did not hesitate. The king gave him what he needed to take on this mammoth task. And the most important thing that Nehemiah needed for this trip was the letters from King Artaxerxes to present to the rulers around Jerusalem to say, listen, I have the king's blessings to rebuild Jerusalem, so you all better don't even try anything. He got the letter to go to Asaph. Asaph was the ruler of the forest. So if you wanted a timber, if you wanted a cedar tree, you had to talk to Asaph first. And because Nehemiah knew that he was going to need wood in the rebuilding, he was sure to ask King Artaxerxes to give him a letter to present to Asaph to say, listen, the king has ordered that whatever timber I need, you are supposed to give it to me out of the forest. Also, he had a letter for the rulers, Sanballat around, well, Tobiah, he was a servant of Sanballat, but also there was Geshem, who was an Arabian ruler around at that time as well. He had his letters. Artaxerxes had given these letters to Nehemiah for him to present to these rulers knowing that there was going to be a strong opposition to him trying to rebuild Jerusalem and trying to reestablish the norms and customs of the Jews. All right. And so that is where the reading is going to be ending today, where Nehemiah and his fellow Jews, not all of them are Jews, but those who are loyal to the Jews, are rebuilding Jerusalem. When we come back tomorrow morning, a little earlier than this, or sometime tomorrow morning, we will continue the reading of the book of Nehemiah as Nehemiah continues to give his personal account of what happened during his time. All right. I want to say thanks again for those of you who came in, those of you who took the time to listen. I sincerely appreciate you all. I hope you all enjoy the reading as much as I am enjoying bringing it to you. Ricky said thanks. You are so welcome, my love. Ricky, text me. All right. We got to talk. Thank you so much, Ricky. Thank you so much for coming. Card and AG and everybody else who came into the chat. I think Tisha was here as well. Thank you all so much. And everybody else who came in but did not hit the like button or did not say a word, I want to say thank you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you. And if you didn't hit the like button coming in, guys, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Once again, thank you all so much for coming as we all try to learn and understand the Bible for ourselves, because it is of absolute importance to each and every one of us that we know what is in the Bible. All right, Tisha and the others, go ahead now, guys, and have yourselves a great day. My babies are starting to awaken, so you all know what that is. All right, I will see you all later, guys. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Let's get this out of the way. Let me do, where is it? Let me do that.